Another Victrola model VV-2-60, 1926. Yeah, I know it looks black, but it's not. It's actually a very dark blue. It's an original machine. And this was one of Victor's premium models for that era. And a very solid machine. This is the last of the really, truly solid wood portables Victor made. The VV-255 is steel, so that doesn't count, even though it's solid as a bank vault. But this is very heavy, very good, thick wood. You could use this as a step stool and it wouldn't be affected by it. It has a wooden horn, an ingenious design that involves multiple pieces of wood fitted together, and it works very well. Let's take a look inside. I like to leave something under the lid because it's kind of heavy, and I don't want to pull up on that because old leather can be delicate. And here we go. You can see it has the gold fittings. Now, a problem with these machines was the use of pot metal, as I've mentioned before. This reproducer is actually an all brass number 4 Victrola that I acquired for this machine. The original 4A was pot metal, and it swelled and cracked and became impossible to rebuild. And I replaced it with this all brass one, which is never going to fall apart. And the other problem with these is, of course, that tone arm bracket back there, which you have to be very, very careful with because they're also pot metal and they're well known for swelling, cracking, and crumbling to pieces and not responding well to any kind of shock. That includes over-tightening the tone arm or failing to remove it during transport and placing it in the horn for safekeeping. That's the horn opening right there. And it's all wood down in there. All wood, and it stretches all the way around here, back to there. So it's actually a fairly long horn, but it's all wood. Now look at the heavy brackets they put on this. Amazing. Really, really solid construction. It has a record carrier. I don't know how many records. I guess it holds around 10 records. I have a hit of the week in there now, which is not correct for the age of this machine, but I kind of like the way it looks in there. What we'll be playing on this today is, we get a shot of that, Manhattan Mary, Paul Whiteman and his orchestra. That's a Victor electric record because this was the era of the electric recording. That's why they came out with the number 4 reproducer with its slightly larger diaphragm as a stopgap to handle electric recordings until they came out with a truly orthophonic reproducer, and it worked well. It does. And you can see how they made it. This is a wooden motorboard. You have your needle cup right there for your excess needle, not your excess, your wasted needles you put in there, because you only use one needle per record with a Victrola, any Victrola. One needle per play. And then you take the needle out, you dispose of it in there, and you put in another needle. That way your records are preserved, because needles are cheap. They're not that expensive. Records are irreplaceable. Once gone, you do not get them back. This particular machine even has the original key. Never lock a Victrola, because if that lock breaks while it's locked, and it can because it's very old, what are you going to do? Because you can see, you'll have to break into the machine, basically, once it's locked, to get it open, and that's going to cause damage. You don't want to do that, because you will not get that out too easily. Okay, let's hear what it looks like. Let's hear what it sounds like. record's a little bit worn, but it's still a nice tune, and the only copy that I currently have. Now, you might notice this on the back of the tone arm here. That is plumber's tape. And I put that there because it tightens up the isolator gasket to the tone arm without my having to alter anything and bend anything on the tone arm, which I don't like to do. So that's a very cheap and easy solution that works very well. This happens to be blue tape, but you can also get white, and there's probably other colors. And it seals it up nice and prevents any air leaks back there without having to alter things and bend things and all that, which you don't want to do with something this old. And you also don't want to have to put up with a loose reproducer, because that just doesn't sound very well. You have air leaks, and that causes volume reduction. There you go. That is the blue VV-2-60 1926. An excellent machine if you can find one with a good tone arm bracket and you locate a reproducer. Now, this is only one solution to the reproducers. As I've mentioned in other videos, you can get a British market number 4, which some of them are all brass, but you have to make sure you are getting an all brass one. You can try to find a very expensive and rare number 4 all brass Victor reproducer like this one, or you could use a exhibition or a number 2 reproducer on here. It will fit the tone arm with no problem and sound almost as good. Not quite as good with electric recordings, but decent enough. And there you go. Or you could try to rebuild the original number 4, which is rarely successful due to the intergranular corrosion of the pot metal. You see there, Victrola 4. And that's that.